Stampers, this is Trevis. Welcome to Video Friday. Thank you for joining me today. And so our YouTube today is going to be making a pop-up card. This is my own creation, so I'm hoping that it works. I think it will, but it might be a little bit lengthy because there are some scoring lines. There's also, I'm going to be using a die on the inside of the card also that takes a little bit of time to glue in. So grab yourself a cup of coffee or a Diet Coke and join me today as we stamp. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, before we get started stamping, I just want to mention to you one last time that this stamp set, the Artistically Inked stamp set, is still available for the drawing. So if you haven't placed your $30 order using this hostess code, you can still do that today or through Sunday. And then on, I'm trying to think what date I said. I think I said on the 13th, I will be doing the drawing. This is a $24 value. Actually, it is unorderable at this time. So to get your red rubber copy, your Clings copy, you can get in that drawing. So unlimited times you can enter. So if you place a $30 order online with this hostess code 2CVP64NA, you will be entered for that drawing, okay, which will happen on the 13th. Okay, so let's get rid of that and let's start stamping. So I'm going to use two different inks today, and these are brand new InColors. This is Soft Succulent and Polished Pink. So I love both of these colors, and I'm going to be using the Floral Gallery bundle, which is carried over into the big catalog. The Art Gallery stamp set is a photopolymer set, 15 stamps, and the matching dies also are 13 dies. Let me think. I'm sorry, 7 dies in this set. We are going to be using the one that says, just want you to know. Just want, oh heck, I can't remember what it says now. Just want to say, and then there's all these different sayings. So all of these different sayings can go in there after you put in that die, which is so cute. I love that. So I am going to show you how to make this card. So I'm going to start with 4 1/4 by 11. Okay, we are going to trim this down, but the first thing we want to do is we want to measure. So get out your ruler. We want to measure 4 1/2 inches from the bottom. So we're going to put a little tick mark right here. Okay, and then 5 1/2. Okay, which would be halfway up the card. Okay, so we're going to put those little tick marks right there. Okay, as kind of our guide since we are going to stamp. All right, now the stamps I'm going to use are, I'm going to use this 2-step flower and with these leaves. And I always start with the darkest, so this would be 2 steps. So this would be the darker, the one that's less stamp. I guess I would call it less stamp. I'm going to start that with Polished Pink. And I'm going to use this guide that I put on this paper. Okay, so the very top right here, this first little tick mark, I'm going to stamp this stamp right at the top of that. Okay, so you probably can't see that tick mark anymore, which is a good thing because we don't really want to see that later. And then I am going to now stamp the inside of the flower, and I'm going to use the fuller part of the flower as the inside, and I'm going to ink that also with Polished Pink, but I'm going to stamp it off once to make it lighter. Okay, and now I'm going to stamp it over. It's kind of hard to see because it's actually tinted from use, but I think it's okay. I'm going to stamp that right on top of the original. So I've used different colors of ink doing this, and what I think I like the best is this. You use the same color ink and you stamp off once, and it gives you that beautiful pink, light pink, dark pink flower. Okay, now I'm going to use this again, but I'm going to shut it because I don't want to put my hand in it. Have you ever done that? I'm sure you have, and it's so aggravating. Now I'm going to stamp the leaf, and I'm going to use Soft Succulent. And I'm just going to stamp that right down here. Isn't that a gorgeous stamp? Okay, so the next thing I want to do is do a little trimming and to make our pop-up card. So what you want to do is get your paper cutter, your paper trimmer, okay, and hopefully you have a scoring blade. So this is your scoring blade, the gray one. This is your cutting blade. If you don't have a scoring blade, you can still use your paper cutter and just use your bone folder, okay? So you can just use your bone folder right in there, all right? But what I want to do first, oh, no, I don't want to do that first. I'm sorry. I am going to do some cutting. So I'm going to use the die for the flower. Okay, getting ahead of myself. I'm going to use the die, and it's this flower right here. So I'm going to bring up my cut and emboss, because you have to use your cut and emboss. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is, and you can see mine is well loved, I am going to place the die on top of the flower. Okay, and I'm going to do my little trick. So my trick is, see that line, that little tick mark? I'm going to place my cutting blade, my cutting plate on top, right, and stop right where that is. Okay, and the reason is because I want to just cut the top half of this flower. I don't want to cut the bottom half. I just want to cut the top half. So wherever your double blade is, your double plate is, that is what's going to cut. Okay, this part of the die is not going to cut because there is no plate there to sandwich it in. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so now, quick and easy, cut it through. All right, I'm going to use that again in the end, so I'm not going to send that far off. Okay, now, when you take this away, you're going to see that just part of that die cut. That's what you want, okay? Now you can go to your paper trimmer. Get it in the right order. And you are going to actually measure. You're going to trim a score right where that line is, okay? So I am going to take my scoring blade, trying to get this so that you understand what I'm saying, and I'm going to score right into the flower, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Score right up to the cut. Ooh, I did that pretty deep, but I think it's pretty okay. All right. Now, when you fold that on those fold lines, you're going to get the pop-up flower. Didn't do the best job, but I think it'll be okay. There we go. Okay. Now, what I want to do next is I want to measure from here to the bottom of my card 5.5 inches. And the reason is because I want this to fit in an envelope ultimately, right? So I'm going to get rid of the scoring blade. I'm going to bring up the cutting blade. I'm going to measure over, let's see, 5.5 inches. So the top of my card is 5.5 inches. And now I'm going to cut off the bottom. All right. So now you can see that from here to here is 5.5 inches. So you could do more of a pop-up if you want. You could have the flower stick up further, but you're going to cut more off the bottom of your card, right? Because you still want that to be 5.5 inches and fit into your envelope. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to use some of our new designer series paper. And this is the 21-23 InColor 6x6 designer series paper. So these are all 5 of the new InColors. And the designs are so cute. So we have, it's going to be a test here. We have polished pink, we have soft succulent, fresh freesia, pale papaya, and evening evergreen. Okay, and then there's the other sides, which are just as cute. So, of course, our designer series papers are double-sided 6x6 papers. Okay, so now what I did was I used the polished pink because it matches my ink, and I'm going to use a small piece of that right down here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on here, and I'm going to stick this right at the bottom of my card. And then, since it's 1.5 inches, and it's actually 1.5 inches by, put the glue over too far, 1.5 inches by 4 1/4. I'm going to trim off that piece. So I have that little extra piece, and it has glue on it. So that's okay. Now, the next thing I want to do is put some stamping on here. I want it to be simple, okay? So I want the pop-up to be the focal point, but I do want to say something on the front of the card, and what I chose from the stamp set is congratulations. So I love these fonts. They're simple, straight up, no florally thing going on, but I like it. So I'm going to open up both pads. Oh, hello, stamp. Open up both pads, and I'm going to ink up polished pink. I'm going to stamp it right here. Okay, then I do want to clean my stamp, so get your chamois out or your scrub, whichever you prefer. Clean off your stamp. Pick up some soft succulent ink. Do one of those. Stamp off. Clean off your stamp before you go to your scrub or your chamois. Save yourself some cleaning time later. And then pick up some more. Ooh, I almost didn't get that C in there. Let me get it in there. Hopefully I can line this up again. Yes. Okay, so there we go. We got that done. I'm liking it so far, okay? But it needs something on the inside, right? So I'm going to close these, and I'm going to use that die I talked about from the Floral Gallery dies, and it says, "Just want to say." You know, here's another cool thing. All of these sayings fit inside of these little dies, and they're like scallop. They're like little, almost like a postage stamp edging, I would call it. So, you know, congratulations would fit in this bigger one. Sorry would fit in the small one. So that's pretty clever, I think. Okay, so now I am going to bring back my cut and emboss. I'm going to turn it this way because I'm right-handed, right? And I'm going to use another piece of that designer series paper. And now I'm going to cut this out. Okay, this gets a little tricky because you would think this would all be one piece, but no. Alas, you will see how they did this. And the way is that they did separate words. I like it, but yet it is a little bit tricky, okay? Because when these fall away, it's like a lot different than you think it's going to be. It's separate words. And I say the reason I like it is because if you don't want to say just, if you just want to say want to say, well, you can do that because you could just leave just off. But today I'm going to use the whole word, the whole saying. Just want to say. All right, just like that. Looking good. Now I want to clean this out a little bit because there is a little bit of, oops, I don't want to get rid of that. That's the top of my J, just the dot. Want to say. Okay. All right. Yay. Okay, so now we get to take our card back and we get to glue this in. Oh dear. Okay, so I'm going to use our multi-purpose glue. And I'm just going to put a tiny little bit because, right, you don't want to over glue. See how little I'm putting on there? I'm going to do all of them while I'm doing them. I hope I'm not sorry for that, because if I put my hand on them, they'll be stuck on my hand. I'll try not to do that, though. I'll try very hard not to do that. I almost always use this tip of the glue rather than the other tip. So the other tip is this end. And if you have a big job, you can use that. But I almost always use this tip, and I keep it just point down. Alrighty. So now I'm going to say just, actually I'm getting this the right way. I don't want to put it on the inside of the card. Just, and I'm going to use this to get the, whoa, just want, see, wasn't that smart of me? Because I had just to want say. That would not have been good. Just want, that's why sometimes it's good to talk while you're working. To say. Ooh, whoa, stuck to my finger. Okay, just want to say. Now I'm going to use my silicone pad to hold that down till it dries for a second. So since I said congratulations on the front, I want to say it again. Just want to say. And I don't want to do it upside down. Congratulations. In case I didn't know from the front, which is congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Just want to say congratulations. And now I'm going to use some of our, on page 139, there is the open weave ribbon. And I'm going to use the soft succulent. Don't laugh, I'm going to try to tie a bow. If it doesn't work, I might just go with a knot, but maybe it'll work. I think I have pretty much ribbon here. It's not that I get nervous, I just don't know what it is. When I try to tie a bow on camera, it just doesn't like to work. See? And I'm not the only one. I see other people doing videos, and it's the same story. Everybody's having the same difficulty that I'm having. Tying a bow on screen does not work. Oh, I think I did it. I think I did it. Maybe if it's tight enough. Maybe not. Ooh, almost. Maybe not the prettiest ribbon I've ever done, but I think I might go with it. Huh? Actually, I like it. I actually like it. It worked. Not the tightest, but I think it worked. Okay, so here's my card today, and I'm calling it a pop-up card. I don't know. Maybe you call it a cutaway card. I'm not sure. I might need to erase that little pencil mark there. But, and I'm not really thrilled with the way I cut this. I might trim this down a little bit more. Like that. I didn't really do the best job stamping, two-step stamping, but hey, it's a homemade card, right? Okay, so there's our card. And this will totally fit into a regular size envelope because from here to here it's 5.5, even though this is a pop-up. So on the inside it says, just want to say congratulations. So hope you enjoyed this today, and have a great weekend. May you be blessed today and be a blessing to someone. Talk to you later. Bye.